Cordial greetings, everyone. And today I will present the research project on the impact of digital tools in English in Group A of the English course of the National Open and Distance University. The studies is aimed to understand how to integrate the technology and influence students is a language learning and is a special in three course areas is the language production, communication, and comprehension. Is type of paper is the research project and research line is an educational technology applied to language learning in virtual environments. Is the author is Ana Maria Navarro Amaya, advisor Norma Sulaima Garcia Fonseca, and the keywords is technology, learning, digital tools, and virtual environments, and teach. And the estimates of the problem is the as crossword is the pounds out is there is analogy is a gap reading how didactic and technology tools as independent variable and influence English language learning is a pen variable is the aim on student is a group A of the English course at UNET and despite the increased use of digital resources in virtual environments, is able and evidence is still insufficient to determine their actual impact of the development of language skill but it is essential to investigate to its found to understand is the identify effective pedagogical practice and proposes groups and strategies that strain on learning in virtual environments. So the study will investigate how to didactic and technology tools using in virtual environments and influence is their learning of English in the student is the group app and is the English for of the cure is bachelor degree program in foreign language with emphasis in English and unit. It is important to investigate this topic because it's not yet clear detection and technology tools and use in virtual environments actually English language learning and so understand their impact will allow for improved detection strategy, strengthen student participation and ensure more effective learning in virtual context. Okay, so is the objective the artist project is the general objective is the analysis to impact of digital tools of the learning process that allow the training the linguistic skill or comprehension, production, and communication of English among students is a group A of the English 4 course of the National Open and Distance University. And the specific objective is to identify the most optimal digital tools to improve the English teacher learning processing group A of the English 4 course of the National Open and Distance University and to describe how to the use of digital tools and teaching strategies, strategies on the development of students is the language skills such as compression, production, and communication, is the among student in Group A of the English 4 course of the National Open and Distance University. On the left is to evaluate the impact of the digital student and teaching strategies used to develop the language skill of a student in group A of the English 4 course of the National Open at Distance University. So let's continue. Is the literature review? Is the literature review present the main and theology and contribution of recent studies? Is the relative of the language skills and English and language learning and technology tools? The technology theories that is the social and educational events. These frameworks is allowed to understand how virtual environments and the fluid studying is the autonomy, motivation, and develop of their communication skills. Okay, is the theories that support of the study is, for example, is the digital self-regulated learning, it is so and CX, is a promise autonomy, monitoring, and control of learning. Is the social contraception is the Vygotsky, is the interaction and collaboration in product and English skills. And the affective effective is a cartient, is the lex anxiety, is a more motivation and participation for the student in the class. Is the number two is use the multimedia tools is a multimedia learning is Arif and Mayer and Shen, and the text, audio, and video, and improve rotation and compression. And the digital competence is the Torres and Sanchez is the essential for navigation ICT platforms and research. And the last is the social pedagogy and methodology and relevance is the English skills is the 21st centuries enabled education, professional and cultural sex. Currently in approach is technology and mixes approach improve understand for the frauds. Is the result is the research improving English language teaching and creates models applied at UNET. Is the methodology designs and this project is the use of mix is the not experimental and cross-sectional design combining is qualitative and quantitative and data to analyze to impact of the digital tools of the English language learn. And the approach and methods is a mix method. What use a survey, structured observation, and file diary is allowing the measured perceptions and analysis of real experience in the virtual environment. Is a process phase? Is the workflow with five phase? Is the preparation, information concept, application of instruments, secure of data recording, and close is the word feedback for the participants. And the comparison is the comparative and tapes is the results and analysis were developed to identify change in perception, participation, use the digital tools, and is the applicate as strategy and after. Let's continue is the results. In the results, a student is positive on evaluation for the use of digital tools and English for and indicate that they facilitate and understand topic and make academic activities more dynamic for the before the activities. On the interactive actives and videos and practice platform, I improve listening, I reading conversation, I love for the clear and the more context way explication. And the interactive actives is the, for example, is the application, is the nearput, educa play, and word wall worksheet is the um, major conversation and waiting on the skills, the English. And the technologic tools for the oral and writing expression is the forum, recordings, guide exercise, inquiry practice, and confidence in communication in English. Is the motivation and participation and growth is significant after implement research. So it's a nearport, educaplay, and a worldwide. And the overall student believe the digital tools and change their academic performance and shall continue to be used in future course. And it is an important discussion and is a digital tool strain learning by promotion and interaction, autonomy, and mindful language development. Um, the result shows the digital tools use the English for is the curve significantly influence on a student is a positive, is the positive learning and special in language production is the comprehension and communication. This finding align is a theoretical framework with posits that technology and can make learn when people integrate. And from Vygotsky is the social and constructivist is a perspective, is a digital choice, is fusion and instruction for the foreign and interaction and collaborative learning in virtual environment. This also aligns Byte and Garrison, Anderson, and Archer is a cumulative or inquiry model and studied, demonstrate, and graded participation and gave that digital tools is to facilitate their understand production of language. Um, In addition, is in the studied is show is a strong connection with the TPAC and is a model by Mirsha and Inorit and studied perceive that the integration in the content, pedagogy, and technology was current and involved active learning. The conclusion and this research demonstrates that integration of the digital tools. The summary is that the research shows that digital tools is had a significant the mostly positive impact on studies is the development of English language skills these tools acted as pedagogy mediators that is really communication, comparison, and production, and they also promote and participate, autonomy, and interactive between is a learning environment is the future technology impact motivation and engage is the making learning more and you and aligning with studied is the needs on distance education. Is the reference is, for example, Brown, Craig, is the thematic analysis and psychology, qualitative research. The British counts is the English in Colombia and estimation of policy, perception, and influence factors. And body main, ICT and foreign language is the learning and overview. Tarling Journal of Language Education de Cabero Almena, Barroso Osuna, Palacios Rodríguez, Llorente Cejudo, y de la competencia digital docente, el caso de las universidades andaluzas. Okay, and the final recommendation is the fears on the strain is a reading comprehension and writing skill is a taught by step is a teaching sequence downhill and study and identify narrative structures. Second, and include activities of I reading aloud and short reading and dramatization to improve fluency and understand. And the theory is they promote creative and functional writing tasks, so and is training coherence and connection for ideas and accompanied by continuous feedback. And for is a continued reforms essential language skill as is spelling, connection, and the use of connective through reflexive dictation and growth connection. And the finally, it is a mention contains assignments and price support and includes an environment that responds to its student and needs is helping to develop autonomy in real communication in situation and they use the digital tools. Thank you for your attention to research highlights and the powerful role that technology can play in enjoying and language learning when they use Pauline and extrapolate. And thank you so much.